Hello everyone, welcome to my office. I'm Dr. Steph Voss, a chiropractor in Grand Marais, Minnesota, and I've got your back. Today's a special bonus episode, just another way to do a psoas stretch. I do have a video that shows one from seated and one from standing. This one is going to be on the ground. I'm going to be using my table, and it's not the most accessible psoas stretch there is. I'll say that, which is why I didn't include it in the first ones, but it's a really powerful way to get into the front of our hips that I wanted to make sure we had an option to follow along with. So this is just a little bonus episode of I've Got Your Back. You are gonna need, the ground, something slightly soft. I also have a sweatshirt that I might use as a little pillow under one of my knees. And I grabbed a tall water bottle. You might wanna have like a tall book, or if you have a yoga block, that can also be helpful. But you don't have to have fancy things. You can just use what you have lying around. So grab those things and you're gonna need comfy, stretchy pants. So, sort of starting from hands and knees or standing on your knees, you're gonna take one leg. I'm gonna take my left leg, throw that foot way forward, big deep lunge. Send my pelvis down and forward. And here's where the water bottle comes in. This helps me sit up a little bit taller. Now, I'm gonna use a sweatshirt under my back knee. Even though this table is squishy, it just sort of helps take some of the pressure off that knee. Yeah, so, here we are. So I'm using this to help me stay up straight. My hips are sinking forward. You'll notice my knee is right over my ankle. Sometimes if we don't take a big enough step, then we end up in a big lunge here, and that's pretty unstable. So scooch your toes until your knee is directly over your ankle. And then send the hips forward. You can have a lot of lift in your chest. The muscles that we're stretching actually start way up here on the front side of the spine. And I'm not hunched over. I'm not collapsed here. There's a lot of lift in my spine. I don't have to practice slouching at all, which is great. Really feeling this through the front of my hip, right up here, the psoas muscle. If you want a little extra stretch, you can, staying really lifted, lean your body away from your back leg. So there's just the smallest arch away, and that gives me even a little bit more length. And then we'll go to the other side. So, getting all the pieces in place again, just starting from our knees, I'm gonna move my extra cushion. And you might not need this on your back knee. That might just be how my knees are made. They like a little extra support. I'm gonna pull this leg through and scooch my right foot up way far so that as my hips come forward, and see my knee is out too far, so I'm gonna scooch my toes so that my shin is straight up and down. Use my water bottle again to help me stay up nice and tall. And my hips, my pelvis is really going down and forward. I'm thinking about from up here, really, and then a lot of lift through your rib cage, through your chest. My shoulders are away from my ears, sitting up nice and tall. And then I can just sink forward a little bit and feel the stretch. You can't see it now, but it's on the front of my left hip. And it's really not about what it looks like, it's about what it feels like. So don't think that your legs have to be in exactly the same shape as mine. You might look like here and be getting a great stretch, right? This is just where my muscles happen to be today. So don't worry about copying my shape, but really focus on the why, the where of things, of making sure your knee is over your ankle, making sure your pelvis is doing that swoop low and forward, making sure your back knee is supported. My legs are basically, coming straight out from my hips, and then a lot of lift through the front body. You'll notice that big difference. the more you can sit up tall. Again, you can lean away from your back leg a little bit. Just taking easy breaths. And if this feels really intense and you're like, oh my gosh, how soon is this gonna end? I need this to be over. Just back off a little bit. Dial it back. Come out just like 50% to where it's a little bit less intense, a little bit more comfortable, but you're still getting the stretch on that muscle, and then stay with that. This shouldn't be painful. This shouldn't hurt. This is, like we do all of our other stretching, just a really gentle melt. Then slowly come back out. Thanks so much for taking good care of yourself. If you have any questions, feel free to find me on my website, drsteffoss.com. And remember, bodies are meant to be enjoyed. Thanks for joining me today.